everyone, it's Vicky from Minerva. Now, in case you didn't know, at the moment at Minerva we have 50% off all new look sewing patterns. So I thought it would be a really good idea today to pick some of my personal favourite new look patterns and team them with a fabric, just to give you some ideas on what you can make with the patterns and the sorts of styles that are really popular on Minerva at the moment, and some ideas of what fabrics you could team with them. Now, new look patterns I think are great value for money anyway, even when they're not on sale. So they're usually £9.50, and at the moment with 50% off they're down to £4.75, so less than £5 a pattern. And on top of that, if you are a member of the Minerva Craft Club, you get 10% off all orders for a full 12 months from whenever the date is that you sign up. So you would get that 10% offer on top of the 50% discount, and we even offer free delivery options worldwide as well, so it really is the perfect time. If you're thinking of stocking up on patterns, now is definitely the time to do it. So like I said, I've picked my some of my six favourite new look patterns at the moment, and teamed with them some really beautiful fabrics to give you some ideas on what you could make. So let's dive in. So the first pattern I've got to share with you is New Look 6683. Now this is a really classic jumper dress with two different views on the pattern, both of which I think are really lovely. So view A has a funnel neck with patch pockets on the front, straight hem, and then quite a full sleeve that pulls into a cuff detail around the wrist. So really, just a really great, quite simple, really jumper dress pattern that you could make in so many different fabrics. And then view B is the same, except they've shown it without the pockets here, but you could add those to view B if you wanted. And it has a really lovely cowl neck on view B, which, I mean, I do love a cowl neck. You can see, a funnel neck. You can see what I'm wearing here today. This is the Megan Nielsen Jara sweater top, which is made in our Toucan Play Minerva exclusive French terry fabric. So I do love a funnel neck, but I do love a cowl neck as well. And that one, I think that might be my option if I was making this pattern now. So the sorts of fabrics you can use for this pattern, it needs, a heavy-ish knit fabric, and something that's got a bit of body, so it'll hold that cowl, it'll hold that funnel neck. And just like what I'm wearing today, I think our Minerva exclusive French terry is perfect for this pattern. So the one I've chose to share with you today is this one, which is called Serene Meadow, and I think you'll be able to see why. It's an absolutely beautiful, very soft, very muted colour tones, floral print on our French terry base cloth, which is the most beautiful quality. It's a cotton and elastane blend, so it has, a reasonable amount of stretch. Not very stretchy compared to some knits, but a good amount of stretch, and that makes it a nice stable knit, which is quite easy to sew, relatively easy to sew, for a knit fabric. I think it's a great one to start with if you're a beginner to knits, and I just think that pattern, because there's not too many style lines, it's quite a simple shape, would really show off the print on that fabric, and I think it would be perfect to wear through the winter with tights and boots, but particularly through springtime, autumn time, when the seasons start to change, certainly here in the UK. It would be a nice cosy layer, but not too thick, not too warm. So you'll get lots of wear out of that one. Next up, so this is another cosy themed pattern, number 6415, and this is rated an easy pattern, so it's going to be a nice, quick and simple sew. So on this pattern you have 4 different options for different tops, all made in knit fabrics. Now view A I really love. At the hemline it has like a crossover detail, and it hangs lower at the sides than it does in the middle. That's a really lovely detail. It's got a simple round neckline with a band and full length sleeves. I just think I would wear that all the time. View B is similar, except it only uses one layer of the detail that you can see on A at the hemline. So it's short at one side and then hangs down further at the other side, which is a nice detail. And that looks like a 3/4 length sleeve, so you've got a different option there. Now view C is very similar to view B, except it doesn't have a sleeve. That's a sleeveless option, so you could apply the sleeveless option to any of the views in the pattern if that's what you wanted. And then view D is similar in the sleeves and the neckline to view B, but it has the hemline comes to a point in the centre. So hemlines options, you have 3 different options in the pattern and then 3 different options for sleeves. So you can just mix and match that and pick the details that you want from each view, and you have so many options then with this pattern. Now I think this pattern suits a knit fabric that has a little bit of drape. So I went for our Minerva exclusive sweater knit fabric. Now this is actually the same design called Two Can Play as the one that I'm wearing, but what I'm wearing is the loop back fabric, which is a knit as well, and this one is our sweater knit fabric. So as you can see, this one has lots of drape, but it's still got quite a bit of weight and quite a bit of body to this fabric. So I think with all the hemline options you've got on that pattern, the drape would suit it really well. But it is, with it being a thicker fabric, it's going to be perfect for this time of year. So again, I think this is perfect for those times of the year, when it's the seasons are changing, it's still a little bit cold, but you know the warmer weather's coming, or likewise in autumn, the warmer weather's going to be leaving us and we're heading to colder climates. This I think is the perfect fabric, really great transitional fabric, this one. And this particular print, Two Can Play, with the toucans in it, the palm trees, and then all these graphic sort of geometric shapes in the background. It's a fabulous print. I'm obviously wearing it today in the other base cloth. I've got this on my cutting table at home at the moment. I just love this fabric and I had to have it in both base cloths. So next up we have a unisex pattern, so it's great for men and women, and it is a shirt that I think borders on the edge of being a jacket, so I guess what's being called a shacket at the moment. So I thought for this one it would be great to do in a plain fabric that you're going to get loads of wear from, would team with all sorts of different items in your wardrobe and just be a great piece that you could wear all the time. And I thought, rather than going for, say, like a cotton poplin or a shirting or a cotton broadcloth, something that's a very typical shirt weight fabric, I've actually gone for our, so this is the Sarah fabric from Meat Milk, and it's made of a blend of tencel and cotton. And it's a really weighty fabric. It's quite unusual really, with nothing else quite like this in our huge range of fabrics at Minerva. So it is quite unusual, and we've categorised it as a canvas fabric, which it is, it has that weight and that sort of feel of a canvas, but because it's got the tencel element in there, it has quite a lot of drape for such a heavy fabric. So when I say heavy fabric, it's not as heavy as, say, like a wool coating or something like that. But compared to, like, say, a cotton shirting fabric, it's a lot heavier than that. So I thought for this pattern, this would be perfect because it would make this, a shirt come jacket. And I think that would be really, really versatile in your wardrobe, and something that you could throw on as an extra layer, perhaps underneath a coat in the cooler times, but then in summer when you still, well, here in the UK anyway, we still need some layers, it would be great to wear as a jacket without the coat on top, and it would still, it'd still be more like a jacket rather than a shirt. So I think that would be a really interesting combination. And yeah, I think that would just be fabulous. And this fabric as well, it comes in lots of different colours from Meat Milk. So yeah, this is a beautiful, like quite a dull denim-y blue sort of colour, but there's lots of colours if that isn't your style. Next up we have a trouser pattern. Now this has, the number of this pattern is 6691 and it has a couple of different views on the pattern. So view A is a much wider leg pant which has a slit down the side which the slit works to just above ankle length really. It has a lovely tie detail at the waist. And lovely pockets that come at a diagonal, which are one of mine and my mum's favourite pocket styles to sew and to wear. And then view B is very similar but without the tie detail at the waist and a straighter leg option. So the pattern recommends you could actually make this in denim. You'd probably need quite a soft denim to do that, not a very rigid structured denim. You could use a lightweight twill, you could use linen, silky type, soft poplin, all sorts that quite a lot of different variety on this pattern. But what I've gone for quite a classic fabric really, and a very classic colour in this navy blue. And this is our Polyviscose blend suiting fabric. Put that there. In, like I said, this classic navy blue colour, and it's just the polyester content gives this fabric durability and it makes it great for everyday wear because you can wash it in your machine and put it in your tumble dryer and it will wash and dry like a dream and be, it'll last and last and last. But the viscose content that's added gives it this lovely softness and a little bit of drape, which it just elevates it to, it's a really lovely fabric. And I think the amount of structure combined with the amount of drape that it has with it would make it absolutely ideal for view A, which is the wider leg trouser. But equally you could sew it for view B as well, it would be really lovely for that. Now this fabric has just a little bit of stretch in it, so it's a stretch woven fabric, not a knit fabric, it's a stretch woven, so it's only a little bit of give. And I think that will be great for these trousers because one, it means that it can be a little bit easier to achieve a good fit when you've got that little bit of wiggle room. But also when you're actually wearing the trousers, anything with that little bit of stretch, it's just more comfortable to wear, isn't it? So yeah, I think that'd be a great combination. And again, this fabric comes in lots of different colours on our website. There's every colour you can imagine in that fabric. And then the last two patterns I got to share with you, so we're going a little bit more summery, or spring-summer with these patterns. Now the first one is a really pretty wrap top, number 6700, and this has two different views on the pattern. Now it has a V-neck line that's created from a wrap detail, and down the wrap it has 3 buttons. And then where there's a seam line at the waist, and below that there's panels which again create like a wrap over detail with a shaped hemline. Really, really pretty, I think. It's got a bust dart for some shape, and then you've got the option of a longer sleeve or a shorter sleeve, and then there's like a tie option that you can add on, like a little bow tie, that I think you could add to either view depending which sleeve length you decided to go for. So again, quite a few options in this pattern. Now this pattern, I think you could make in something soft and drapey, like a viscose chalet, but I think the way it shows it on the pattern envelope, it's a fabric that has a little bit of more structure. It's more like a cotton poplin, or a cotton broadcloth, or a linen, something like that. Chambray would be lovely as well. But the fabric I've gone for, which I love this sort of fabric, so this is our cotton Swiss dot. So what cotton Swiss dot is it's 100%, this one is 100% cotton fabric. It's quite soft and very soft, quite lightweight, and it has, has some structure but a little bit of drape. And what makes this fabric different is that along the surface, hopefully you'll be able to see that, there are these little textured like tufts of the fibre of the yarns that have been used to weave the fabric. So it is a plain fabric in one sense, but because it has this really subtle but such a pretty texture, I just think it makes it a little bit different. And you know, you've still got a nice plain top that will go with lots of things in your wardrobe, but it just elevates it from being just a plain cotton fabric. It just makes it a little bit more interesting, and yeah, I think that's the perfect amount of structure versus drape in that fabric to be perfect for this pattern, and I think that would be something that you could wear all year round. You know, the longer sleeve ones when it's a little bit chillier, and the short sleeve one would just be gorgeous for spring and summer. So the last pattern I've got to share with you today, so this is a showstopper of a dress, I think. This is number 6696. So there are two different views on this pattern, and for me, I love the slit at the front of view A. So it slits quite far up your leg, just above your knee. It has a very simple neckline, a little short, very simple sleeves. It's fitted at the bust. It has a waist seam, and then it has panels that run, seam lines that run down the centre from the bust area right to the bottom of the dress, and it's on one of those seam lines that there's a slit at the bottom. Now, the main difference between view A and B is the length, but on view B they've shown it without the slit. So if that's not your thing, you know, you could sew either version, A or B, without the slit or with the slit if you wanted. But I think the longer length of view A, you know, really it gives you more length in the garment to have a longer split, so it's very dramatic. Yeah, it's just, it's a beautiful pattern, and the back of the pattern has a little cutaway detail at the back with a tie. So it has like a V, it goes down to a V from the back of your neck, and it ties, and then there's a cutout panel, there's like a triangle just from where your waistline is. Now you do obviously have to be conscious, you know, if you don't want your bra showing. It looks like it should cover your bra because it is quite a wide piece of fabric, so I'd be confident making that you know, that will cover your bra straps. But if you didn't want that cutaway option, view B is just a plain solid back. So you know, you could, again, you can pick the bits, the elements that you want from the different views and make you know, the option that you want. So, you know, for example, you might want to take the plain back from view B but team it with the longer length of view A with the slit. Like if I was going to do it, I would probably make that. I think the cutout detail on the back is beautiful, but perhaps for me the full normal back bodice pieces would just make it more wearable all year round. Now, the fabric that we've chose for that is this beautiful one on the dummy here in the background, and this is our Minerva exclusive viscose challis fabric, and this one is called a Fragrant Field, and it's just so pretty. Doesn't that just make you think of spring and summer? I know my mum's got a piece of this at the moment. I think she's making a dress. I'm not sure what pattern, but yeah, she's making that and getting ready ahead for when the spring and summer weather starts. I just think it's happiness in a fabric is this one. It's so pretty, and wouldn't that just be absolutely gorgeous in that pattern? I think that's an absolutely winning combination. So that is all the 6 patterns and fabrics I wanted to share with you today. So I hope you found that inspiring. If you did like this video, please give us a like and a follow. Let me know in the comments which was your favourite fabric pattern and which was your favourite pairing. Have I inspired you to maybe try any of these patterns or fabrics? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, we will tag everything that I've mentioned, all the products, below this video. So if you want to go and click on those links, you can find out more about the fabrics and all the details. You can also see the ones that do come in different colours. Yeah, certainly these 3 come in lots of different colours. So if you click on those links, you'll be able to see the full range that we have available. And as always, the great thing about the Minerva website is any makers on the in the community that have shared things they've made with either these patterns or fabrics, if they tag those to their posts, you'll be able to see those on the product pages. So it's just, I think it's really inspiring to see what other people have been making, you know, what those fabrics and patterns look like on all different people, what fabrics they chose, how they found the fit, was it easy to sew. There's just an absolute wealth of information there that the community has shared word, and it's a great way to, you know, find out if the pattern's right for you, and, you know, really kind of figure out what fabric you want and what kind of style and what look you want to create. So thank you very much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.